Hello and welcome. My name is Eve Ellie. For any further information on who I am and all the services and the products that I provide, all that information will be in the description box below. So for this first portion of the video, I'm going to go into the brief astrological description of the new moon in Aries and the spring equinox that we have already begun here on March 19th and 20th, depending on where you are on planet Earth. And the new moon in Aries is on March 24th. So you will be able to see me throughout this portion of the video. Once we get into the second part where I've used 3 different oracle card decks. And if you want to jump ahead to that, the timestamps will be below. So I will be shifting the lighting and I will be putting the camera down for that portion of it. Now, as we jump into this, I just want to let you know that tomorrow on March 22nd, I am doing my lecture where I'm covering in great depth a lot of the astrology that is going on over the next 2 months. And I will be doing a very detailed card spread for those that want to be present virtually over Skype with me. It will be available for purchase afterwards by Monday, the 23rd of March. And then below, I have any of my past lectures available for purchase. I have a couple meditations that are free. And for the next 2 weeks, as we go into this new moon, and that will be starting on March 24th, I am reducing my prices for 2 weeks from the new moon in Aries to the full moon in Libra. It begins on March 24th and it will end on April 7th. For all of you that want a 60 to 65 minute reading, it will be $100. For those that want the 30 to 35 minute reading, it will be $50. And for those that want a briefer one where I answer 1 to 2 quick questions, which is approximately 20 minutes, it will be $30. And again, my information, my contact information will be below, so please do reach out to me directly through YouTube, through my email address. Feel free to call or text me as well. So let's jump into the astrology here. This is the new moon in Aries, and as I said, we just had the spring equinox in Aries. Now the numerology here for the new moon is a number 13, which reduces to a 4. When we use the energy of the tarot, that would be death and transformation, and the 4 is the Emperor. But that makes sense, doesn't it? Because the Emperor is a master. The Emperor is the energy of the leader. And to become a truly wise leader, one must go through very deep transformation in one's life. This new moon is a very powerful one. It begins the entire astrological season. It also begins our seasons because we begin with springtime. It's when things warm up, when the earth warms up, when seeds that have been present already beneath the surface of the earth begin to come up and they begin to sprout. So when we look at Aries time and then going into Taurus, we are seeing those first little seedlings or sprouts that are coming up from the earth. And when we get into Taurus, the flowers are indeed beginning to bloom. Springtime is considered the biggest time of movement forward, always, and that's in accordance with the seasons. And it's also in accordance with the astrology, as Aries is the first sign of the 12 signs. So it begins this astrological season. What do I want to say about Aries? It's the hero. It's one of the hero signs. Aries is pioneering. It can withstand many things. Aries likes challenges. It doesn't want life to be simple and easy. Aries is the athlete that is able to go on a very long journey to achieve what it wants to achieve. So Aries has great courage, inner strength, and resilience. when I think of the sign Aries, I think of someone who has the courage to stand up for what they believe in, someone who is authentic in their truth. And of course, I decided to wear the color red, which often goes with the fire signs of Aries and Leo, because we are entering new times now. And Aries is the sign that is going to guide us through this. And in the Tarot, the Emperor is often seen as ruled by Aries, and sometimes Leo as well. But it's primarily the fiery signs in astrology that rule the Emperor. And so here with the new moon in Aries, we get that ability to lead. But when we're looking at Emperor energy, it's the leading through intelligence, through mental intelligence. But when we get to the Emperor in the Tarot, he's not devoid of emotionality. It's about leading with the mind, but also listening with the heart. Because these are the two greatest organs in our body, and they are meant to be used in tandem, in harmony with one another. That's what I love about the Emperor. It's that ability to be a wise ruler while the Emperor is also feeling through his and her intuition and inner body to know what the right choice or the right decision to make is. And then in numerology, the 4 is governed by the planet Uranus. And Uranus is about great awakenings and new beginnings in terms of soul development and evolution. But Uranus is also very unpredictable. It brings surprises overnight. So be aware as we're going into Aries season, which with the new moon is about a 2-week window of time, but in its fullness, it is absolutely 29 to 30 days that we are going to be working through this Aries energy. Tough decisions are going to be made in this time, yet tough decisions is what makes the Emperor as strong as he is. Yeah, because as we are going into the new moon here on the 23rd, 24th, and through the 25th is when we're going to really be in the energy at ground zero here. The moon and the sun are moving into Chiron as they are coming together. So we have the moon, sun, and Chiron all conjoining at once. And Chiron in astrology is the wounded healer. Yet in the sign of Aries, we're seeing new solutions here, is what I'm being told. Because as we're having this conjunction, the planet Saturn, right now as I'm doing this, is entering the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is scientific breakthroughs and inventions and innovation. And it's so interesting that it's occurring side by side with the lunar solar Chiron conjunction here. And I'm seeing this as being new solutions and breakthroughs that are going to be coming through in terms of healing modalities. Perhaps there will be an antidote that comes in very quickly and it's presented sooner than people anticipate, or there will be new innovations that are coming in within the medical field, in the engineering field, and in the scientific field. Why? Because Aquarius specifically rules the realm of science and engineering, but also IT. So it's the entire communication in terms of the local area networks, in terms of fiber optics, and then Aquarius rules space. So that involves the satellite systems as well. There's perhaps going to be some new innovative things being launched within the IT realm and within the electromagnetics realm. Another way this could show up is within the electromagnetic field of planet Earth. We could be seeing some energy happening within the ley lines on the Earth and perhaps feeling electrical movement or electrical charges coming from the Earth. Now, I want to mention Aquarius rules lightning as well. So be aware of what's going on with the electronics around us, okay? And perhaps there's going to be some lightning storms that are coming in around the globe because there's a lot of rain coming. It's going to continue for a while, but please know this is clearing the atmosphere, and this is exactly what needs to happen. A lot of movement, I'm picking up a lot of movement within the clouds, and this is going to be going on for the next 4 weeks. Yes. Now, the one thing that is really helping us here during this time is Venus is in Taurus. So the divine goddess is dancing. She's in harmony with all the Capricorn and with all the Pisces energy. Now, how to use that, because this is the gift here, and Venus in Taurus is saying that abundance is going to be coming to us in unusual ways. And the goddess of love, money, and creativity is just that. Creative ideas, coming up with perhaps new ways to create abundance, being highly creatively energized during this time. And remember, Venus in Taurus is what is guiding us because she's the magic here. The divine feminine goddess energy is bringing us the solutions, and it's coming through her creative juices, okay? So I think that's all the astrology I have for you. One more thing I want to mention, though, as we complete that, is Mercury is ending its cycle here in Pisces that it began back in the very beginning of February and the end of January. And Mercury will be leaving the post shadow on March 29th and making her very, it's funny I said her. Well, Pisces is a very feminine energy, as am I. I just had my birthday about, exactly a week ago today. So Mercury in Pisces has that divine feminine energy attached to it. And it is completing its journey in Pisces with its conjunction to Neptune here on April 3rd. So by the time we get to April 3rd, 4th, 5th, Mercury will be indeed in completion of its cycle here as it gets ready to move from Pisces into Aries. And I believe it does that on April 9th or 10th. So that is it for the astrology here. If you want to go into much greater depth with me, just check out my lecture either in real time tomorrow. Let me know ahead of time. It will be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wait a minute, we're in daylight time, so Pacific Daylight Time. And if not, you're welcome to purchase it afterward once it's up and online. Now I'm going to pause the video and we'll get started with our card portion here. And actually, one more thing I wanted to say about the astrology. We are having our first of 3 Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions or alignments on April 4th. That is a very significant astrological day. It is 4-4-4 because 2020 is a 4, and that equals a 12. That first Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, we're bringing in very strong energy of 4-4-4, which is the angelic realm. So calling in on the divine angels in the archangelic realm and the magical unicorns as well is something I highly recommend that you do throughout the rest of March and through April. And the other 2 Pluto-Jupiter conjunctions will be June 29th and 30th, and the last and third one will be on November 12th, 2020. That's just for your information for those of you that want to know. And I will be going into much greater detail on what this means in my lecture tomorrow. Okay, here we go. So this is for the oracle card reading for the new moon in Aries and the spring equinox. The 3 decks I'm using, I have them here and visible for you. I wanted to do this in a little bit of a different way, where we're starting with the hero's journey, which is one of my very, very favorite decks. And it's so pertinent to the new moon in Aries and the spring equinox. So let's look at the two cards that I pulled here to give us guidance throughout this time. The first one is the breadcrumbs of bliss. Heed your pleasure principle, number 11, a master number already. And the second card is number 12. Wow, look at that, 11 to 12. Say yes to your higher calling. Be a human exclamation mark. Now, both of these cards on the hero's journey, they are the hero answering the call. So you are on the journey, you are the hero, and you have answered the call. So I want to read a little bit more here from the breadcrumbs of bliss. And I wanted to also pick this deck so that I give you perhaps a mantra or an affirmation to use. And it was so interesting as I was pulling this, I was seeing this quote by Joseph Campbell, and it's the one that is attached to the breadcrumbs of bliss. Follow your bliss and doors will open for you that you never knew existed. Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. It is no accident that you are on this planet at this time, in this place, and with these people. It is no accident that you have been endowed with the unique gifts that you have been endowed with. Your gifts and your talents are within you for a purpose. It's not your job to know how your life is meant to unfold. It is only your job to be attuned to the bliss that moves you, guides you, and underlies your every interaction moment by moment. So in this card, you are being guided to connect on a very deep level with what you think your gifts are. And for some, what I'm getting is there's some gifts that have been lying dormant within you, that within this next month, the season of Aries, they are going to be coming out. So these gifts are going to be just naturally coming out of you. And I'm getting a lot of green energy here. I mean, green, blues, pinks, oranges, a lot of creative energy. I feel that many of you are bringing out gifts of creativity, finding new ways to create. When you honor your dreams, your inner guidance, and the promptings of your soul, you are rewarded every step of the way with a resurgence of bliss. This is not a temporary high that's going to leave you crashed and burned out. The breadcrumbs of bliss are going to lead you to the very best place to be, in divine right order. Yes, I'm getting a divine timing with this as well. So know that your bliss is about ready to unfold. And for those that are already on that pathway, it's going to continue to grow. And the next card is say yes to your higher calling. The big question is whether you are going to be able to say a hearty yes to this adventure. Pack lightly. Bring only the most essential so that you can be free to embrace each new moment with wide open arms, wide open heart, mind, body, and soul. Life is a conveyor belt of never-ending blessings, and you can say yes to it all. Then when it is time for you to release and move on, you can do so with pleasure and gratitude. Deeply appreciate all of your belongings, yet recognize that you are not intrinsically attached to them. So there's a very significant message here about recognizing that you are on an adventure, and that adventure is called life. And this is a school. Planet Earth is a school of soul evolution and advancement. And thus, this is the next level that we are all moving to in 2020. And it is a giant movement up. That's why everything is happening. It is for this curve that is going up. And it's not this slow movement this year. It's very high and steep. So on this journey, don't carry what you don't need anymore, and recognize what in your life you need to now let go of. And on the journey of adventure that you're on, be in it fully, fully embody the pleasure of it, the learnings, the understandings, the ups and the downs, so that when you reach the end of that leg or that part of the pathway, you can easily let it go, knowing that you lived it to the fullest, and now you are going on to another pathway here. Appreciate all of the experiences and the defining moments displayed in your personal hall of fames and shame, but also know that they are not who you are. So all of your glory and all of your loss is simply part of your adventure on the earth. But it is not intrinsically who you are, because you are a being that is so much bigger than the sum part of your experiences. And this is ultimately, I believe, the understanding that we are all getting to in this year of 2020, because 2020 is when we have that clarity, right? Feel the butterflies and sensations of love well up within you, and trust that saying yes to the beckoning will lead you to the perfect people, the perfect places, and the situations for your maximum soul growth. You are ready. This is your mantra. I trust my yes to lead me to the perfect people, places, and opportunities. This message goes without saying how immense it really is. So take it in. The cards are the artwork is by Rassouli. I'm going to show them to you again so that you can focus in on the energy that is inherent here within them. And go back through this video if you want and just look at the messages. Be a human exclamation mark. Heed your pleasure principle. Say yes. Now I also want to go to the second deck, which is the Divination of the Ancients. And there was a lot of cards that flew out of this one, more than has ever come out before, which means we have a lot of messages here. I'm already feeling that some of them are going to repeat. So let's start with the very first one, mystical, the clouds. And when I was talking about the astrology with some numerology and tarot in the first part of this video, I was saying that I was feeling a lot of energy going on in the clouds, a lot of weather patterns, shifting energy going on through the clouds, and I was sensing a lot of lightning coming in as well. But lightning can signify strong electromagnetic currents coming in. Lightning can also be ideas and inspiration and creativity that's coming in through the clouds as well. Right now we're in a time of great mystical experiences. So wherever you are on this journey, whether you're at the beginning, in the middle, or you feel like you're very much a master now, it does not matter. We are all in it together now. We are all going through a very big spiritual experience, no matter where you are on that road. And this is your invitation, saying yes to the call, to recognizing that you are now on a spiritual journey. And that's what the clouds represent to me, is letting you know. And the clouds is also another way of saying that you are on the pathway of bliss. Your nirvana, your heaven on earth is awaiting you in some form. So be grateful already for whatever bliss and magic is coming to you, whenever it comes to you in this year. Because with these cards, what I'm getting as well is there's a lot of divine timing here. And if you're in a place of positivity and saying yes to the calling and yes to your spiritual body, and following your spiritual body and your spiritual and inner guidance, your intuitive body, then what you need is going to be presented to you. The tools and the teachers will arrive. Now, the next card I pulled was the fortune cookie, fortuitous. Now, part of what this message means, if you look at it, is there's surprises awaiting you, which is all of the messages already. There are surprises awaiting us. Some of these surprises could come in the form of challenges, though, or perhaps some more learnings that need to be had. However, for many, I feel that we've already been down that road long enough. And so the surprises or the messages that we are getting now are going to be good ones. They're going to be fortuitous, but they are also unexpected. Now you see the exclamation marks there. Why? Because there's information that's missing. We don't know the whole story, right? And this card is serving to let us know that this is the information we can see, and this is the information that has not yet been released. Whether that's on a global scale through media and just information coming through the World Wide Web or other forms. Maybe it's coming through intuitive messages, but just know that the information is coming through from very different avenues of information. And I'm almost getting, it's interesting, I'm getting like a 50-50 that we only know maybe up to 50% of what's happening right now. And I know that there's a lot of questions out there. But I'm here to let you know that when you stay in a positive place and you envision a positive future and you connect as much as you can and further with your spiritual body, with your intuitive guidance, with your guides, your angels, divine God, divine creator, source, whatever name you give it, it does not matter, that this is what is guiding you here. Now, I wanted to read something from this because I'm feeling like there's some other messages here. I'm getting that there's an important decision to make. Okay, a surprise is on its way. A big win is at your fingertips. Some of you have the Midas touch right now. A chance meeting will answer questions. That's what the message I was looking for. I was picking up that there's some chance meetings that are coming to you that you did not see coming, that are unexpected. And I want you to know they're bringing information to you that you need, okay? And also, for some, I'm getting, please continue to pay attention to synchronistic occurrences that are happening around you, because serendipity is all around us. Nothing is occurring by chance right now. And for others, the message is help is at hand. If you've been asking for it, the help is coming. The miracles are coming. And lastly, the last message I'm getting here is for others, a great offer is coming to you. So I'm getting opportunities. Perhaps it's an opportunity of abundance, an opportunity of love, because I was getting that there are romantic offers coming in the month of April, and this is a big energy for love. April and May, I was getting very big that there's messages coming, but I'm also getting messages of abundance. And isn't it interesting that the third card I pulled here is coins, abundance. So yes, abundance is coming in for many. So the Midas touch is very strongly magnified in these two cards here. But I'm also getting, though, with the coins, which goes back to the hero's journey messages, is do not be overly attached to money and possessions. Go lightly. Pack a very light backpack or a light bag on this journey. Abundance is only a tool. Money is only a tool. Your possessions are something that you have with you for a certain moment, And then it's time to let them go, pass them on. Maybe they've served their purpose. Travel lightly. Do not be too attached here, is the other message I'm getting with coins. So let me read this because I'm sensing another message coming through. Your desires are coming to fruition. Yes, stay positive and open to new beginnings. So I'm getting new things, new beginnings, new opportunities. And they're also saying, don't focus heavily on the money. Instead, focus on yourself being an abundant being, because abundance goes way beyond just money. You want to be abundant in everything, an abundance of love, friends, well-being, health, an abundance of water. Okay, right now, an abundance, I'm going to make a joke of TP. But be in the place of just focusing on abundance being all around you, and know that you will be supplied with whatever you need. All of your needs are being met here. You are being supported by the universe right now. So please give blessings. Both of these cards are saying give blessings and gratitude for everything that you have. Count your blessings and then some. And I'm also getting for some of you that this is a great time to start a new business venture, to shake hands on a new business partnership or a deal. Remember I said an offer's coming in, a new deal that could be offered you. And I'm getting this on the romantic arena as well. So let's go to the last two cards here. Isn't that interesting, the lots? Yep, you have to take a chance. This is a time to be on an adventure. Remember what I said in the beginning? Take a chance on this new business partnership. Take a chance on this new love. You are casting a lot here. And how funny that I said in the astrology portion that Saturn is just entering Aquarius in these couple of hours that I'm doing this video in. And Saturn will be entering Aquarius twice this year. Now that it enters Aquarius tonight on March 21st, it will be there, I believe, for about 4 or 5 months. I think it re-enters Capricorn in either late July or August. Okay, I can put that message down in the description box below. But Saturn will fully make its final transition into Aquarius on the winter solstice this year, December 21st, 2020. There's something about that energy and that this time frame that we are being given here in this message that's very significant. So those of you that are watching this, earmark this video to go back and listen to it later on this year, because I feel like these messages here are really messages for the entire year of 2020 and even going into 2021, I'm being told by my angels. They're telling me it's through February and even the very beginning of March 2021. Okay? But most significant in this window of time from late March through December and January. And the planets that we're supposed to be watching here are the Sun and the Moon. So that means the lunations, the new moons and the full moons, the cycle of Venus. And Venus enters a very strong cycle when she enters Gemini on April 3rd. And she will be retrograding in Gemini in May and June. And then Mars. And Mars will be retrograding this year as well in Aries. It enters Aries on June 28th and 29th. And it will be retrograding September through November. So we're being given so many messages in this year. But this guidance, the new moons, the full moons, the eclipses, the Venus and Mars cycles, and Saturn in Aquarius, these are the cycles that are guiding us into change, and they're showing us the times of opportunity coming here. And the last thing I want to say about this card is, for some of you, the answer for some issues coming into your life and people and opportunities, the answer will be yes. And for others, the answer will be no. Not everything is going to be a yes. I believe you're going to have to go inward into deep discernment to know which ones are yes and which ones are no. So let's look at the very last card here. And isn't it interesting? I pulled the runes. I've never pulled this before, ever. Perception. Perception is another word for discernment. Really look at something closely. Take your time and be discerning. And if you need to gather more information before you make an informed decision, do so. Especially if you're bringing in very big new opportunities that require you to take a very big risk. Go into it slowly. Take your time looking at it. And lastly, with the rune card, what I'm getting is shift your perception. Stop looking at life from a single-minded framework that is no longer going to help you. You've got to broaden your perceptions here. Broaden your horizons. See the situation from all angles. There is a lesson to be learned, a lesson to be perceived here. Understand someone else's point of view. Another message for some of you is that it's time to study the rune cards for spiritual growth and understanding. Well, while we're at it, the lots here showing us the planetary astrology. So for some, maybe it's about seeking astrological guidance, studying astrology. For others, it's about getting your fortune read. For others, it's diving deeply into your spiritual journey more and seeking intuitive guidance or going to intuitive classes. A lot of guidance in these cards here today. And lastly, do not be quick to judge. So using your perception to make wise decisions, like the Emperor in the Tarot, which is the guiding force behind this new moon in Aries. Use your emotional intelligence. They kept wanting to channel that through me. It's your emotional intelligence. That's the perfect blending of your mind and your heart. And when you do that, you're going to know the decision to be made. Let's see if there's any other messages here. Yep. They said, whatever you do, keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. The runes are a reminder that in one single toss, you can choose a very different outcome. And that can mean that sometimes the things you perceived to be your obstacles can suddenly become your greatest gifts. And those people that are your sandpaper to your soul, or you perceive as your enemies or your challenge, can deliver the most meaningful and useful lessons in your life. That's what we call a frenemy, where your enemy becomes your friend, or your friend becomes your enemy. There's a definite shifting here that I'm perceiving. And lastly, as bonus cards, I wanted to get us all grounded here, coming back from the clouds into the whispers of love, getting grounded onto earth. And I wanted some messages of love. And the first message we have, and I could see this before it even came out, is back to what you love. Your current situation is giving you an opportunity to reevaluate what you want. It's about following your pathway, your unique pathway. And it doesn't mean that anyone else is going to follow it with you. This is unique to you. You are an individual spark of creation. Embody that spark. Don't jump on the pathway that everyone else is on if it's not yours. If you have to be solitary right now, then be solitary. What I love about Aries energy is it's about following your own heart. Aries can be a very solitary energy. They're not afraid to go it alone. And that is one of the biggest gifts that Aries gives us. You're to not be afraid to go it alone, at least for a little while. There will be people joining you, I promise you. I wanted to read from this. It's number 3. And number 3 in numerology is about listening to that deep intuitive guidance. You have the ability to change what you are doing at any time. And didn't we get that message here from the runes? You don't have to feel like you are stuck. Go back to what you know, and but more importantly, go back to what you love. Ask your angels to guide you with this process. You can do anything that you truly want. Take an inventory and find where you got off track if you did. This is a message for those of you that are perhaps feeling stuck and don't know where to turn. Take an inventory, step back, find out where you got perhaps stuck or where you thought you got off track, and then find what you need to do to get back to you, to what you love, to your authentic self. I love that message. The next one is love makes the difference. Love can help heal past hurts, and it provides a sense of security, self-worth, and importance. I love the visual too, because she's on a ship that looks like a bird. So the bird's flying. So this is a card of action, that there's movement around you. She's holding right there an old way of playing music. I can't remember what that's called. How we used to play music, in the 20s and the 30s. Getting a visual of Prohibition time for some reason. Oh gosh, maybe we're there's energy perhaps that goes back to that time frame. Maybe something I'm going to look at in my lecture tomorrow. But you're listening to the music. And I like how it's on one of those old music players, because we get to really listen to it carefully. And there's candles on her head. So the future is indeed lit up, and there's 3 candles, and this is number 31, which reduces to a 4. So we're back to the energy of the Emperor, but the 3 candles are lighting the way. So remember, love is what makes the difference on your journey here. And if there's anything you need to heal from your past, just dive into it. If you trust love, everything else will fall into place. And if there are challenges along the way, it is important that you allow your heart to remain open and simply work through it. Bring love into it. So we're getting that message of remain open. And the bonus card is you are limitless. Number 4, again, the Emperor, emotional intelligence. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. I think this is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck, because it's the magical unicorns, it's the butterflies, it's the peacocks, it's the swans. This is the ascension pathway. And where are we all going? We are going upwards. We are flying with the unicorn. That is the journey that we are on. There is a multitude of possible outcomes in your life at this time. And there is also a multitude of possible outcomes to any situation in your life. What you need to do is recognize that you are a limitless being of creation, and therefore broaden your perspective. Again, we're back to perception and broadening your perspective, looking at it from every angle, so that then you can see what perhaps you were not able to see before. And that then allows you to fly and to indeed be limitless. When you take a broader outlook, you allow your inner knowing to show you the way. And release the need to control whatever is happening, especially if you are too close to a situation and you can only see it from one perspective. So the really final message here is recognize if you are too close to something. If you can only see one point of view, right away that's telling you you're too close. So become the limited being that you are. Dive into your spiritual body, follow your inner guidance and your intuition. Ask for help from friends and others. Ask for intuitive guidance. Ask for help from your divine angels and beings, the divine guides that are all around you, so that you can broaden your perspective and you can get the perspective from a much larger or broader angle. What I'm seeing here is you're going to want to get it as if you were flying above it, so you can see the forest and no longer the trees. And always know that no matter what, things always work out exactly as they're supposed to. And that is your final message. Remember, you are a limitless, beautiful being of creation and of the cosmos. Opportunities are always in front of you. There's not only one answer, ever. There's never just one answer. Aha, there's the lots again. I love you all. I wish you the very best. Remember, this is a very significant video. I invite you to to save it on your YouTube feed and to listen to it. Go back to it when you need it, because I know that when I go back to things, I will hear something that the first time I didn't hear it, or maybe I forgot it and I needed to hear it again. Okay, I wish you all my very, very best.